Hey, everybody. I'm so excited for today because today we're going to pull back the curtains and talk to my amazing rock star virtual assistant, Nika, who has been on my team for more than 7 years. And she's going to answer all your questions. We're going to talk about just exactly the stuff that she actually does in our business. So it might give you some ideas of ways that you might work with your virtual assistant. Because if you're just now joining us, um, I've been talking all week about how game changing it is to hire a virtual assistant for your business, especially if you are a solopreneur. And because you're doing all the things yourself, right? Which is definitely not ideal because if you're doing all the things yourself, then you don't have time to do the things that actually move the needle that makes money in your business, right? And so we've been talking about this all week. We let you know that the doors are open to Front Row CEO. That is our program that matches you, well, shows you step by step how to find your perfect match virtual assistant and then beyond, working with them successfully so that this person will be with you for years, not just days or months. But we also announced this week that in fact, yesterday, we just decided, sort of like in the spur of the moment while we were live streaming yesterday, that we're throwing in a really amazing extra special bonus, which is we're going to vet your VA for you. Like my team is going to go out and try to find and will find your VA. Sorry, turn off my phone. Um, how do you turn this thing off? Yeah. So you're going to basically fill out a form. You're going to tell us what you're looking for. We're going to go out and find that person. We're going to match you with that person to put into your trial week, where you will also have at least one other person that you have found going through the process. And so that's if you purchase now, we're going to connect you. Oh, I was reading my own words. All right. So I'm not going to ramble on anymore. I want to jump right into this. Nika, why don't we kick this off with you telling us about your journey to becoming a virtual assistant. How did all this come about?
Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Nika. So I think Jen has been talking about me all week. So right after I graduated college, I work in a outsourcing company. So it's like a VA agency. And then I, just like most jobs in the Philippines, I was working from Monday to Friday and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's been like I've came to the point that I was burnt out. I'm only earning about $200 per month. And so I decided that it's not working for me. I'm not happy anymore. So I decided to look for a job online where I could be at home with my family, have more time, earn more. And that's when I saw Jen's job posting, and luckily I was hired, and that's the beginning of our partnership and all the magical things that happened in my life. So that's in 2016. So we've been together for more than 7 years now.
Like, I can't believe it. Like when Nika started, she was a baby, like practically like in diapers still, and she just got married. So it's crazy. All right. So can you share with us like the stuff that you do in our business? What do you do every day?
Okay, so I'm gonna start in the beginning.
Sure.
So I work as a virtual assistant, like executive assistant of Jen. So I handle her websites, her social media, newsletters, graphics, so anything admin. But as I grow into the business, as Jen give me more tasks, hand over tasks that she doesn't like doing, I've also evolved like plan with the launching, creating marketing materials for our clients, and also talk to our clients, help them with all their technical problems and anything that goes into our membership sites and into our programs. So I help Jen with that. So basically, like automations and marketing and business solutions.
All right. And but did you know all that stuff when you first started?
No, there are tasks and tools that Jen, can you learn about this? And it's like, I have no idea about this one. But of course, that is not a problem. As virtual assistants, we are accustomed to look for solutions. Like, there are plenty of tutorials and videos online, and also Jen is very generous when it comes to paying for a service or like a course, and she gives us access to specific course and we learn it and then we implement it for the business.
Yeah, so let's stick a pin in that right now. Actually, let's address that right now because that's something that I hear a lot where people are like, I don't know how to do Google Analytics. And everybody tells me I should be doing my Google Analytics and looking at my Google Analytics, but I don't know how to do that. And I definitely don't have time to learn it. I don't want to learn it. You don't have to. Like, raise your hand if you think there's a shortage of information on the internet. Like,
Mhm.
right? There's more than enough information. So between courses you can buy very inexpensively, like on sites like Udemy or Coursera, I think Coursera is still around, Skillshare, and then just the free stuff on YouTube. There's so many great trainings that you could hand over to your VA and just say, hey, what, like, would you like to learn Google Analytics? Because we need to like implement this in our business. And then you've really outsourced the learning and the teaching and all the things. And I can't even tell you how many ways we have done this in our business. I mean, any new, like, we use new tools are always popping up, and like when you're launching and you've got so many moving pieces in your business, like whatever your business is, right? Like there's always software that gets updated or gets phased out. You have to learn a new one, but you got to keep up with that stuff, right? And so one of the things we use in our launch is a program called Deadline Funnel, one of many, right? And I'm like, yeah, I do not want to learn how to use this, but it's like a really important piece of our launch where, like, if we put a deadline on things, the offer will automatically expire on that date sort of everywhere. It's beyond just like a regular countdown timer. So it's pretty, there's a lot of moving parts with it. So I just asked Nika, can you learn how to use this? See first of all, if you think it'll benefit us, like research it. And then if you think it does, then let's sign up. And then will you learn it, please? And then she did. And now we use it. And I don't know how, but the great thing, and we teach you how to do this in the program, is that, yeah, Nika's superhuman, amazing. But one day, Nika, and actually one day soon, we just hired 2 new full-time virtual assistants to add to our team. So at some point in the not too distant future, Nika might not want to do deadline funnels anymore. So what she can do is hand that off to one of our new VAs. But what she did while she was learning deadline funnels, and after she learned it and after she executed it, she created a system, a checklist. Do this first, do this second, do this third. Here's a screenshot of where you click. She might create a Loom video that walks someone through it. So so when Nika's ready to hand that off to the next person, she just, here's the link. Then that next person learns how we do it in our business, and that system lives in our business for forever. So that's why you don't have to worry about bringing a virtual assistant on board and not knowing how it is you're going to train them. You don't have to know all the things at all. And then the other thing I want to say is that, so Nika, like, you mastered all these technical things, but then things started to evolve in a whole new kind of way, right? Would you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So, for example, let's talk about chatbots. So that is the tool that we use ManyChat for our chatbots. So that is one of the tools that keeps on evolving. Like there are new rules to implement. There are new features to try. So once I've already know those, like the basic of ManyChat. So when they introduce these new features, I go into my systems again, and then I've updated, and then there's a new Loom video for that I create, and then that is updated in our Trello board where we add our systems. And I've also, so that is available for all the team members. And the good thing is you the CEOs doesn't have to really learn about the tool, because we're here to implement all this. So it's something that we teach in our course. One of the best things that we teach in the course is the systems. The systems is like the
Foundation.
foundation of
Yeah.
their, yeah, foundation of their business. So you have this document ready, ready when you hire a new VA and grow your team.
Yeah, I love it. But also I want you to brag a little bit about how you went from being this technical person who, I mean, and you still are, and you do all these techie things, but you, as time went on, you started to like really be such an integral part of planning and like building our company, right? So as a matter of fact, this conversation, we did this in August when we launched Front Row CEO. We decided to, you know, do the pull the curtain back and talk to Nika and have Nika answer your questions. It was Nika's idea. She was like, you know, Jen, people really need to see, like, they need to see how we're doing it. So why don't we do this live stream and open it up to everybody? Well, that's a great idea. So, you know, Nika has brought so many ideas that have added like real value. And let me tell you another example. So, you know, when um, we were talking about, I just completely spaced out. Oh, how well, I spaced out, but I think I'm going to go in the right direction anyway because I think
Mhm.
I'm going to tie it in. Um, your VAs can add value to your business by actually creating products. Oh, I know what it was. I'm on the right track. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how we're going to give your VAs one of the bonuses in Front Row CEO is that when you sign up, we're going to give you, not that yet, we're going to give you a course called Front Row VA. Okay, and Front Row VA is a course that teaches your new VA a whole bunch of technical training, that like basic tech training that they need. Also, really like deeper topics about communication and, you know, sort of overcoming some cultural issues that might come up when you work with a VA who's halfway around the world. And so we put together this whole program. Guess whose idea that was? Not mine. That was Nika's. So sometimes, like, depending on how we offer that, sometimes we offer it as a bonus, sometimes we offer that program as an upsell. It adds actual major bottom line, you know, um, uh, bottom line value, like actual real dollars. Her idea is like, it's just amazing. And then now you can put this up, Nika. So then we decided yesterday to add this bonus where we're going to find your VA. We're going to find your perfect match VA for you. We're going to vet them based on your criteria so that you'll have a vetted VA to add to the trial week when you join Front Row CEO. Also, this person's idea. And then also, she's like, why don't we have like a offer live calls to the virtual assistant? So beyond just Front Row VA, that they have access to us, meaning the team, to ask, you know, questions that are really nitty gritty tech things or whatever. So imagine you're working with your new VA and you notice that like they need improvement on learning Google Calendar. Okay. And they're just like things are a little rough with their calendaring or whatever. So you just say, hey, you know what? Why don't you take this question or this issue to the support, the Front Row VA support call and get help over there. So we're going to work with you to up level your VA after they have been hired. Okay. Amazing. That was Nika's idea. And those are just a few examples of the things that, so Nika is really, 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 truly a partner now. Um, but there were signs early on, and you may have heard me share this story before, but I think it's worth sharing it again. Early on in our journey, we were were on a call, like very early on. We were on a call. We were probably on Skype, and Nika said, Jen, I was looking at our website and blah blah blah. I don't know what she said after that, but she said I was looking at our website, and even now the hair, stands up. I get chill bumps because if you're someone doing it yourself and you're going to work, you're hammering at this every day in and day out by yourself, and someone says "our" and it made it real for me. I know it's just such a small thing, but it's a moment I'll never forget, and that is how in lockstep we have worked all these years, because I do think of Nika as a partner. She is a partner, and that is the culture that we're trying to create in Front Row CEO. Because I'll tell you, you can go to an agency and you can try that out. There's different kinds of VA agencies. You could try that out. Typically, people do go that when they go that route, it doesn't last long, and they end up hopefully coming back and doing it the right way, which is this way, because it's a little more work. You have to do stuff to find your perfect match virtual assistant. There are steps that you need to take. It's not just a phone call, right? But once you do this, you're going to end up with a person that is right for you, who is going to be with you for years. And you're not going to have to keep doing this retraining and re-looking at resumes, because, who wants to do that? Right, Lynn? It's just, I meant to put that up. So it's so heartwarming, really.
But I just want to add also that this doesn't happen overnight. Like so as I keep on working with Jen, I got to love the business. I see the problems of our clients. I see where like stuff that are lacking. So as you work with your VAs, you also get they also get to know you, how to work with you, like the things that you don't like and the things that you like. So we get to learn the processes and how you work with your people, with your audience. So we are really trying to teach you in Front Row CEO this kind of partnership, because we want you to work with someone for a long term. So this kind of hiring is not just for a one-time project, a few months, because that's not where we're teaching you here. We're teaching you to hire someone that's going to help you really grow your business for many, many years.
Yes. And going back though to value creation, I want to, if you haven't gotten your workbook yet, Nika, if you could put the link for the workbook. But this beautiful workbook is an example. Okay, this is the perfect example. So you might have a lot of Zoom calls that you've done, blog posts that you've written, whatever. You've got all this content of your knowledge sitting around somewhere, and you could do more with it, right? But you don't have time because there's just you. So some of the first things that Nika did when she joined the team was to create assets from things that were sitting around. Okay, so this is a newer one. Obviously, this is a workbook that she created that is absolutely gorgeous. That is really a compilation of lots of tools we had been handing out previously, but she put it all together in this beautiful way. Now it's an actual real asset. If I wanted to, I could sell that, right? It's 56 beautiful pages, and it's like, you'll see, it's like extremely robust. It's not one of these ebooks that has like 4 pages of blank pages with like, blank spaces and checklists, empty checklists. So, but early on, for example, do you remember the taco guide was a long time ago, right? Okay. So have a Facebook group. Every Tuesday, people will share their favorite tools or apps. So we call it Taco Tuesday, tools and apps creating opportunities. Okay. And so we had the idea that we would start compiling members' contributions of their favorite apps into like an ebook. Okay. And so it's user generated content. We would also add in our favorites, And we have kept this going and updated over the years. And so now what we do is at the end of the year, at the holidays, that's our gift that we give to our community. It's because it's amazing and it's like beautifully organized, and there's links in there that take people directly to it, and it's just it's people love it. It's a really helpful tool. But that was sort of like, if you think about it, just created out of thin air, but it's like a real true asset in our business. It grows our list. It builds, I don't know, trust. People love it. And sometimes it's the first thing that kicks off our relationship with a new client. All of our lead magnets. So every podcast, every place that people might land on Jen Lehner media stuff, Nika was able to go in and create some sort of tangible thing wherever it made sense, so that we could also have people opt in for that thing. So now we can really start building our community. So those are the kind of things I want you to understand. That's why all week when we talk about how fast you will see the progress, it's because right? Doesn't that make sense? All of a sudden you have this thing. It's amazing. People want to opt in for it. Then they start giving your email address. Then you can start emailing them to tell them about your new book, your new course, your new product, your new service, because now you have people who are your right people. You get it. Okay. And then, what else? I had all this stuff about, all the value you've created, but let's get into the actual, specific tasks, because I know people are really interested in that. And we've got some comments. Any need to throw this? Oh, thank you, Rudy. Letting go and just trusting my VA to create things from my previously created content was hard at first, but boy, did she deliver. Now it's easy to hand things off. Yes. Creating something from not nothing, but real things. It's amazing. Okay. So let's talk about the actual nitty gritty tasks that you and now the rest of our team handle in the business. All of our emails in the CRM, like the customer relationship management email service provider that we use, we can send out, those are our broadcasts and broadcast emails, nurture sequences, all that stuff. But then also our business inbox, our business email inbox. This, you guys, I wish I would have handed off from the very beginning. It was the last thing I handed off, because I'm like, how do I do that? We do have a really detailed YouTube video about how you can do that, how you can hand your email off to a virtual assistant. Just go to YouTube and type in Jen Lehner email, and it should come up. Also, all of our graphics, anything to do with our website, landing pages, customer service. Wow. Like our community, here's another tip. So early on when, I started to really see what a rock star Nika was, I was really intentional about really showing, just bragging on her publicly. It's such an easy thing to do. It takes no time out of your day, but just a post to say, with her picture, to be like, listen to this amazing thing Nika did, or thanks to Nika for this, or her birthday, posting her birthday. And then people started to know Nika. People started to trust her and reach out to her to help them solve their problems. So that was amazing. And now I see former students, they tag me all the time on their anniversary posts, all the time. Like they reach their 1 year, 2 year, 3 year with their VA. They post a beautiful picture of their VA, and then they'll tag me, thanks to Front Row CEO, yada, yada. Landing pages, any of our landing pages, thank you pages, tools like Deadline Funnel that we mentioned earlier, super slick automations, super slick, connected to Zapier and all of that. Chatbot that Nika mentioned, SMS messaging. So everybody who signed up for text messaging alerts throughout this week and this challenge, you've been getting reminders about all the fun activities that we've been doing through a tool that we use called ClickSend. I don't know how to use ClickSend. I wouldn't recognize it in a lineup if you showed me I don't even know what the logo looks like. It was one of those tools where I was like, this looks really cool. We should use this. Can you please figure it out? Done. Yeah. She replies to comments across all platforms. And here's the thing. if you, first of all, I would never think about having a Facebook group or a membership site if I didn't have a virtual assistant. There's so much work, and it's just perfect for a virtual assistant to manage. And so, and in a Facebook group, you could go in, and on your Instagram, if you have a business page, your VA can log in as the business, right? As your business avatar, and reply to all the comments and all the questions. Failed payments. Let's talk about this. Failed payments, canceled contracts, whatever you're dealing with when it, like, weird money issues and stuff like that, declined credit cards, stuff like that. This isn't a conversation that you want to be having with your customer, right? Because you've got this relationship with your customer and your client that is like, it's what, I don't want to say sacred, but it's just, especially if you're a coach or a service provider, right? That is important. Or goodness gracious, like a therapist, you definitely don't want to be talking to your clients about like a failed credit card payment. So your virtual assistant can have those conversations for you in a very, professional business like way. There's templates that get sent. There's automations that happen and that sort of thing. But if there's ever a question about, if someone were to email me and be like, hey, Jen, I can't pay, or can we do this or that and the other? I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to talk about that. It feels weird. So then I'll just say, oh, if you could just talk to our business officer. I've never ever called you a business officer. I don't know where I just came up with that title, but talk to Nika. Nika will help you out. And that's a huge, huge weight off my shoulders. Exit interviews. So we always give an exit interview after the end of our programs because it helps make our programs better. It's also a wonderful way to get really fantastic marketing content. Okay. So at the end of Front Row CEO, we invite everyone to an exit interview, and Nika conducts a lot of these. I would say at this point, Nika does the majority of these interviews, and we ask 3 simple questions. We say, what was your favorite thing about the program? We also ask permission to record, and if something good comes out of it, if they mind that if we share it, and we've never had a problem with that. So what was your favorite thing about the program? What would you say to someone who was on the fence about joining the program? And then what can we do to improve the program? And there's no way that I would be able to interview all of those people, but it's something that you can absolutely hand off. Front row, front facing stuff. Yeah, more front facing stuff than you would think. I mean, Nika can now conduct training. She can conduct trainings with my audience in a pinch. She has had to do that for me before. When I was supposed to show up and do something and I'm, stuck in traffic or whatever, she's able to step in for me. Anniversaries. So if you have a community, let's call this anniversary, special occasion, birthday, holiday card, this is something you can now keep up with consistently because you have someone who helps you. So someone who can print the labels. In our case, in Front Row VIP, frontrowvip.com, if you're interested, that is a business development membership site that I have. It's all about marketing and business growth and all of that. We have people who have been in there since the very beginning in 2017, and obviously, and we want to thank everybody when it's their anniversary. So Nika has set up this automation. It's so cool. So when it's your anniversary, you get this slick automated little message that comes through Messenger that's like, happy anniversary, Becky. And depending on their level, they're going to be able to choose. There's pictures that pop up of the gift that they would like. So depending on the level, the gifts change, but all the way up to, we've got these really cool champion hoodies. We've got people can get a 45-minute strategy call with me if they want that. But that would never be able to happen. That would never be able to happen if I didn't have help. And the same thing for our holiday cards and any other cool things that we're able to put together like that. Let's see here. Sympathy cards, reporting. Oh my goodness. So the reports. So right now in this launch, at any given moment, I could say, "Hey, Nika, can do we have a report that shows us like where we were on day 4 of our launch? Because I don't know if our sales are good right now. Is this where we normally are? Is this bad? Is this good? Like I can't remember, or heart open day. Like, is this a good number? I don't know. Yes, of course she has a report. Not only does she have that, she has spreadsheets that have every link we could possibly need to get our fingers on during a launch. It's just a whole launch bonanza, extravaganza dashboard. And Nika, you jump in with anything
Mhm.
leaving
Right.
out. Scheduling events. So, you can schedule events now on LinkedIn. You've been able to do that on Facebook for a long time, but it's more than just typing the date and time. There's so many things that go along with that. So many steps if you're going to do it correctly, if you want your people to get notifications. So Nika does all of that. And when I say Nika, I mean Nika and team now, okay? Because she's not doing all of these by herself. Newsletters. If you're not doing a newsletter, ta-da! Now you have a VA. You get to do a newsletter because, first of all, you can find content creators and good writers. But even if you didn't, at bare minimum, your VA can put together a sort of like compilation email of everything that happened in your Facebook group that week, or all the top 5 questions that you receive via email from your audience. Or even if all they did was just get everything, set up for, like, you have 3 sections every week. Like, one thing is sort of a summary of your blog post for that week, and then the second section are your 3 favorite things that you came across this week. Like, it could be like your favorite, you just found a new podcast that you love, you read a new book, and you ate a great new dessert, something like that. And then, so yeah, you would have to fill in those blanks, but at least your VA could get that queued up for you. Google Analytics, Google My Business, keeping up with that. All of our systems that have been created and continue to be created. My flash briefing, every single morning, I do a flash briefing on Alexa, Amazon Lexi, and also Google Home. I do that every single morning for years without fail. And I could never do that without my team, because what happens is I wake up in the morning and there's a Google Doc that is filled out with all of the freshest news in the world of online marketing and business. And another win for having a VA in the Philippines, because guess what? Nika's in the future. Okay.
Yes.
Nika's in the future. It is right now. It is 1:30 in the morning, right? And
Right.
it's 1:30 in the morning. And so I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up and nobody else is going to have fresher news than I am, because they're in the future, and they're going to have that on my Google Doc. And I'm going to get up, and it's like a 2 to 3 minute broadcast, and I'll just look through it, and then I report the news. I don't know, about 1,000 people that listen to that every morning. Can you imagine, like, just walking into the Holiday Inn at conference room, and you had 1,000 people sitting there? So it's not like a small thing. That is but I would never be able to deliver that, especially not consistently, without a team. I mean, this list just goes on and on, but we're coming to the end. Video editing, all video editing, YouTube management, all social media management, replays. Do you do Zoom calls with your clients? Well, you know how long it takes you got to download it, then you might need to edit it, then you need show notes, all the things, then you got to email it out. All of that gets processed by my team. I literally just hit record and I walk away. And then, and here is another thing. Like, when we talk about, people ask me all the time about the return on investment from working with a virtual assistant. And by the way, it is very important to think of this as an investment and not an expense, because it is 1,000% an investment. But in that group, Front Row VIP, that I was telling you about, we have a accountability challenge, which is, it's really cool. The members love it. And basically it is, it's 4 weeks long, and people, they write their goals out, and then they just have to check in on Fridays and Sundays. They don't have to, they get points, but they don't earn points whether or not they complete the thing. They earn points for whether or not they check in or not, right? And so that's it. They just check in. They just have to check in with us, and that's it. And what happens is amazing because they form relationships and networks with each other. Okay, so really tight bonds have been formed there, and then Nika is keeping track on her fancy spreadsheets of all their points. And I do nothing for those 4 weeks. I mean, I jump in and comment and say, way to go. And then in the beginning, I do like a rah rah kickoff. And at the end, I show up for a graduation Zoom call, and Nika runs the whole thing. People join and stay in my VIP group just for that challenge because they get so much done. They love it. They love the relationships they've made. Wow. I mean, just amazing. Okay, I'm sick of hearing myself talk. So it's
Mhm.
your turn now. What did I leave anything out?
I think I'm gonna talk about regarding the time zone since you've mentioned that earlier. With
Please.
regards to, we've got a lot of questions this week that is very worried about the time zone because we are like 20, 12 hours ahead of you guys and we're working during the night. So we've got three scenarios regarding that one. So the first is that your VA needs to work during your working hours. And then the second is there's a bit of an overlap. So you work during only a couple of hours during the working hours of your CEO. And then the third one is that the CEO doesn't care with regards to your working hours as long the works get done. And with regards to my case, I'm with the first one. I work during the working hours of Jen, and I just want to say that that is very common in the Philippines. So um, most of us work during the nighttime. So, the Philippines, there are a lot of call center companies. So we are very accustomed to that setup. So in our course in Front Row CEO, we help you with regards to the time zone concern. So we've got like in the early stage of the job posting, we teach you how to lay that out.
Nika, where's that video of you? I want to play that video of your that you did.
Okay, let me just look for
Do you
that.
have it, or is it in our brand? Um,
It's not in our brand, but it's. Do you mean the YouTube video, Jen?
yes, I do mean that one.
It's in YouTube, so I could
Can you share
share.
your screen and show it?
Yeah,
You got to make sure you that the sound thing is clicked.
yeah.
So this is when I was saying like the growth of Nika and like starting out is very technical to actually being like a content creator and all of that. Like, so really Nika has a hand in just about everything we do in this business. And so I asked her to make a video for YouTube about, what it's like being a virtual assistant. And this is what she came up with. So sorry to put you on the spotlight, that Nika. Do you have it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna share it now.
Okay.
Oh, there's an ad.
Oh, it's buffering. Oh, it's an ad.
And I am a virtual assistant from the Philippines. I've worked in an outsourcing company after I graduated college. Just like most jobs in the Philippines, I was working Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But the salary wasn't that great. I was earning $200 per month, but it was okay in the beginning. But let's face it, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I came to the point where I'm burnt out and I am not happy anymore. I decided to quit and get a job online where I noticed that I could get a higher salary and I could work at the comfort of my home. I checked online jobs.ph.
Oh, is it an ad coming?
This is one of the most
Okay.
famous sites where you could look for a remote job. And then I saw Jen's job posting. Jen's job posting says email marketing, lead pages, webinars. And then I think to myself, I got the skill set. So I was confident and then I applied. And here comes the interview. And that was when I met the Jen Lenner. And luckily, I was hired and I couldn't be happier. Remember my first day. It was January 8th, 2016. I work as a general virtual assistant. So I manage her Facebook groups, manage her website, I create newsletters, and all the general admin tasks. There are a lot of benefits from working from home, but here are my favorites. First, less commute stress. I really hate wasting time in traffic, and it causes me so much frustration. Second, saving money. I got to spend less on gas, food, and clothing. Third, flexibility, time freedom. I got to manage my own schedule. There is no time in and time out. Fourth, work life balance. I get to spend more time with my family, eat with them during lunchtime and dinner, and also I get to spend time with friends and relatives during the weekend. And most importantly, I have now time to exercise. Now
Woo.
that I'm earning more than an average office employee here in the Philippines, I can now help my family. I can treat them once in a while and also contribute to the utilities expense at home. It is the best feeling ever that you can now give back to all the sacrifices that your parents have done for you. We got to travel to some places that we haven't been to. It is my goal, and it is now goal achieved.
While working online, I'm achieving my goals one step at a time. Working with Jen doesn't really feel like employer-employee relationship. It is not purely do what I told you to do. She is also helping me to be creative, which is something that I really like. It gives me a challenge to think outside of the box, to think what is best for our clients, and to do more for our projects. I got the sense of responsibility to make sure that we are over delivering, and I feel so happy that our clients also appreciates me so much. They are the best, and that is all possible because of Jen's awesome leadership. She is very appreciative and she acknowledges all my work, whether small or big.
As cliche as it may sound, going to work doesn't feel like work because of my wonderful team. I love being a virtual assistant and I love helping my clients offload their tasks so they could focus on their genius. I'm happy doing the sales page, the automation, the social media graphics, while my client is doing the things that move the business forward. Could it be a sales webinar or one on one coaching? And I can still see myself with this job for a very long time.
So if you are thinking about hiring a Filipino VA, know that it could be one of the best decisions you will ever make, as long as you do the right thing from the very beginning. And we have a lot of videos that can help you with that. We will add the link below. We also have a free 3-day live workshop happening soon where we will help you find and train your perfect match virtual assistant. I hope you find this video helpful, and if you want more VA life stories, please let us know in the comments.
That is so
I
funny.
mean, come on. How awesome is that? So good. So, she said you were work from home before this user says you were work from home before the pandemic. Yeah. Yep, she sure was. We both were.
Yeah.
Um,
We've got a question. How old were you when you started with Jen? I'm 22 years old and I'm now 29. So yeah, Jen is like a witness of my growth, like with my personal life and like everything. So it's really
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, it really is amazing. Anika just got married in October, and I had a special role in her wedding, and I was even going to get to wear a special color, but I couldn't go because it was a conflict with my son, with something I had to go to for my son. But anyway, I'm going to make it there. She's going to make it here. We have never met in real life. Did you know graphic design before you started, or did you learn it on the job?
Okay, so I only got I am familiar with the basic, but like every graphic is different with every businesses. So I am not used to like Jen's pink and with the touch of fancy things. So before there's no Canva. Like I know there's no Canva before, so I'm not sure what I used before. Maybe it's like I also like know the basic of Photoshop, so maybe I'm using that one. So to answer the question, I don't know. I don't know graphic design, but as I get to know Jen, like her style, then I just apply that with the graphics that we post in social media.
Yeah, and on that note, so I mean, you've definitely gotten better. Nika was definitely not a graphic designer when she started, but Canva, those of you who don't know, it's canva.com. And you're going to thank me if you've never been there, but you might also curse me because once you go in there, it's hard to come out. It's such an awesome program, such a great tool because they make everybody look like great graphic designers. So I think, I have my brand colors established by a professional graphic designer, and my logos too. Yep. But so once you have your font and your and all of that, it's just so easy to plug that into Canva, and your VA doesn't need to be a graphic designer. However, some people really just don't have an eye for things. They just don't. And that's all right because, we have also we had a part-time, 20-hour a week graphic designer for about a year and a half, and who did all of our graphics and stuff, and that was really nice. And she made lots of logos and all of that. So you can always find a VA that it just does graphics for you. But I see so many VAs, CEOs come through our program who hire VAs, and I see their social media and all that, and they're just killing it. Like it all looks fantastic, and they're using templates that were created by professional graphic designers in Canva. Yeah. So how about, what other questions do you guys have? It's crickets.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to talk about also the other bonus that we've got in Front Row CEO. So that's the we help you train your VA. So just like what Jen mentioned earlier, we've got this Front Row VA that got a lot of trainings from technical to like professional development, working with the client. So we've got that covered. And the other one is the office hours. So this is like my baby right now that I really take care of. So we've got a community where we also gather once a month. They submit their questions in advance and I answer them. I get like technical questions, personal questions, like how to, like one question could be, Nika, how do I say this politely, or how do I say this not being rude to my client, because I just want to be like I just want to get things clarified. And so I help them with the approach and also like with technical things. Nika, I saw that you use this specific tool. I also want that for our business. So I teach them, like I've got this Loom videos, this systems. So I share that with them, and like, think they're also very grateful because they now implement it to their clients' business, and it's like something that they're very proud of because it's something that really helped their business. Their clients gather more, gain more followers or more email, more leads. So it's something that we really continue to develop in the course. So I hope that we'll see you in the program, so you have that as a bonus also.
Okay, we do have some questions. So costs. So let's talk about that. So for the VA and for the program, so I'm not sure which one. We'll talk about both. Okay. So the program, and I'm going to show you everything that you get in the program in just a minute. I'll go to those slides. That's $19.97. That price is going up actually. And in addition to in addition to the program, it's all of the amazing bonuses that we mentioned. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. But the investment in a virtual assistant if you're going to go to the Philippines, it's going to start at about $5 an hour, between 450 for the trial week, and then once they're hired, $5 an hour. Um, and but you don't stay there, okay? And this is why it's this you being able to leverage foreign exchange rates is what makes this work initially, but it will not keep it working if you do not follow the steps of what we're trying to teach, because eventually, everybody wants to grow. Like, we're hardwired as human beings to grow and progress, right? And so people want to grow in your company, even if you think the job that you're handing over isn't prestigious or something. That's actually not true. If someone can grow and develop their skills in your business, it's exactly where they want to be. But everybody wants to be rewarded. So we show you how to gradually increase the pay. So as you make money, they make money. You make money, they make money. But it's perfect for solopreneurs because you can afford someone for 20, 40 hours a week, which is what you really need in your business to get the ROI, Natalie, that you're asking about, which we'll talk about that in a moment. Hiring someone for $100 an hour in your local town is, it's just not feasible for most small businesses. You can't really get many hours strung together. So that's kind of what you should budget for that. And then in terms of the ROI, that's a really good idea. And maybe we will make some sort of like spreadsheet or chart, but if actually we do sort of, in the exercises that we did in the challenge, this absolutely breaks it down for you, in that you can carry this to your partner if it's helpful. But like the way that we talked about it this week was like, if you take 2 hours of the tasks, and it would be helpful to know your industry, but if you take 2 hours of the admin tasks that you're currently doing yourself in your business, okay, just 2 hours, that's it, and you outsource those 2 hours, and you take those 2 hours and instead have 4 sales calls, which is a reasonable number of sales calls to have in 2 hours. And in one of those calls, you close the sale, okay, for whatever it is. It's a widget, it's a service, it's a package, whatever. And let's say it's $5,000. What's the ROI? I mean, if you can get someone to do work for less than what your hour is worth, then your ROI is there. Their ROI is built in. You are in the black. The key, of course, is that we must make sure that we're using that time that gets freed up on those revenue producing tasks. And then Rudy wanted to know, Nika, was it easy to learn Jen's vibe?
Oh, Rudy,
You could be honest.
yeah, was it easy to learn? Yeah, I would say yes, because I think we're kind of similar. Like, I also like working with a client that is like similar to my values and all that. So for me, it took me a while with regards to her language, but in terms of how Jen works with clients, it is okay. Like, I would say I totally get her in a couple of months, like 6 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Nika, did you have the MacBook Pro before starting, or did you get it later?
Oh.
Where's your MacBook? How do you know she has a MacBook Pro? I guess in the
And
video.
then-
Oh, in the video.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got it later, and I will tell you the story also that Jen got me this MacBook Pro. So in the program, we've got a lesson there, making magic together, and we teach you like how to incentivize your VAs and also how to show your gratitude, because as VAs, we also, as the business grow, Jen also like give back to her VAs, like to the team. Jen is very generous, like showing us like bonuses and for our birthdays and anything that happens in our life. Like even my sister's graduation, she knows that, and she sent something. That is like a very touching for us, for VAs, because we know that we are appreciated, even the little things. Like, thank you so much for this wonderful graphic, Nika. Like I am very happy to have that kind of client and have this relationship with Jen.
Yeah, so Nika's computer busted. And I'm not saying that like you guys need to go out and buy, your new virtual assistant a computer. It doesn't work like that. And we don't, we're realists around here, right? Like
Mhm.
and that did not happen like I don't even think in her first year, but
No.
over time, I mean there's so much heavy, there's so much memory that my content takes up in her computer. It really just makes sense like that she should have a working computer. And so, it was a pleasure actually to be able to help in that way. But yeah, we do show you like this really is such an important piece is how to acknowledge appropriately, along the way. This Facebook user says, which software do you use on a regular basis?
Okay, so let's start with our business solution software, which integrates our CRM, automations, and marketing. So that's ConvertKit. That is the software that we use to send out emails and our visual automation, our email sequences, and then we've got Google Workspace. We can't live without that. We use Google Docs, Google Sheets, forms, slides, and everything in Google Workspace. And we have our email there. So the team also uses Google for our emails, and we have individual emails. And we have Canva, of course, for our graphics. And then during this launch, I use it every day, like our deadline funnels, call loops, ClickSend, Squarespace, Kajabi, and yeah,
I
I
mean,
can go.
God, it's probably as long as our arm, the stuff that we use. All right, I'm gonna jump to the slide deck real quick. To For anyone who isn't familiar of what's included, or you just need a reminder of, let me pull this over here. Okay. Sorry, I just got to set this up so I can see both the screen and my slides. Okay. So what you get in this program are recorded videos. They're very short. They're like less than 5 minutes. And they come with all the templates and checklists. And it's literally not literally, it is practically color by number. You watch and you do. Okay. So you get all the trainings, all the tools that you need. But then we're also, as a bonus, going to give you all of the systems that we use in our business. And bonus number 2, we're going to give you our Front Row CEO content planning system. This is something I sell separately, and it shows you how to create, or it allows you to create 90 days, a full quarter's worth of strategic content in just a few hours. You're going to get course updates for life. So every time, we're updating this program all the time. We're also adding the recordings of all of the live calls. So you'll be able to get access to those recordings forever. And then we added, this was the mic drop until we really dropped the mic. So the first mic drop is that we're going to give your VA access to their own copy. You'll get a copy, they'll get a copy of the Front Row VA training program, filled with really necessary trainings for all new VAs, and even experienced VAs, because we want them to be on the same page with the Front Row CEO philosophy. Like, you're learning a philosophy, and you're, you're trying to cultivate a culture in your business of partnership and collaboration in a certain kind of way. And so we want them to be on the same page with you as you grow and develop as well, right? And then on top of that, we are going to invite your VA into our live support group and VA office hours that Nika was talking about. So that means that they're going to have access to Nika and my team for mentorship, live Q&As, live streams, and in that course, Front Row VA, they're going to learn. There's just a lot of onboarding trainings for them, professional development, tech tutorials, SOPs. So you get the calls, you get the live calls with me, access to me, 90 minutes for 4 weeks or for 4 calls. And then you get access to 4 step-by-step, easy to follow recorded modules, all the templates, checklists, and flowcharts, a private community, which people love because once you get close to the hiring stage, or after you've gone through the trial week, we create a pool of vetted VAs that you can share with each other. Okay, so bonus number 1, all of our systems. Bonus number 2, our content planning system. Bonus number 3, course updates for life. And then we're going to train your VA. And we don't have a slide for this yet. And I don't guess we're going to make one, but we added the fact that we are going to vet your VA for you. We are going to find a VA to put into your trial week. This is something that when I've offered it, I have charged between $3,000 and $5,000. It's not something that you could sign up for on my website because obviously, as you might imagine, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of man hours. I should say human hours to make that happen. But we're throwing that in as a bonus. And that is, you got to sign up. You got to sign up now. So, all of that is about $10,000 of value. And you're going to invest today $19.97, and we do have a payment plan. However, this offer, the offer of us finding your VA, that is only going to work with that's not for the payment plans. That is for the one-time payment only. And then we have another bonus that is for people who get the who choose the one-time payment, and that is the deluxe custom hard copy Front Row CEO content planner. It's gorgeous. If you want details on that, go to Front Row CEO / planner, and you could flip through the pages. It's really quite something. It's a really a true system. It's not just some sort of like notebook, and it comes with the digital system as well. And oh, look at that! Did you just do that?
I did it earlier.
Yeah, so we do have a slide for it, as a matter of fact. So that's our the bonus that we just added. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to play a couple of messages from previous graduates.
Don't try to do your business alone. Having somebody helping you who can do things quicker and better than you can, so that you can focus on the revenue building part, the stuff that really makes you money, and not always the busy work behind scenes.
Okay. Some of these are new. I don't know what this one is.
Front Row CEO is such a valuable program. There's so much in it that regardless of what kind of help you need in your business, you should definitely get Jen's program. If you need an assistant, if you need a specialist, if you need, because I just made some very minor modifications to the templates, to make them more specific to what I was looking to have somebody do. And the other part of this message is that that you can outsource any aspect of your business that you don't like doing.
Amen. I love that.
Yeah. So and Jen's program is a perfect way to do that. So yeah, if you need a virtual assistant, use Jen's program, and if you don't need a virtual assistant, use Jen's program.
Okay. And then let's see what this one is.
In the program, first of all, I was amazed at the organization and how much is in the program, where it is step by step, mind-opening things like, oh, I didn't realize, number one, that I should do that, or that I even could do that. And and then when I would think, yeah, but that is so difficult, there was a template, so it wasn't difficult. So not only what does the program tell you what to do in order to get from feeling overwhelmed and busy to getting someone to take all of that away from you, it's what to do. But then, you know what, Jen kind of just did it for you.
Additional training for those actual VAs. So there's training that I gave them when they came on board. I'm like, go watch these trainings, and that you all provided. I didn't have to provide those trainings. It was
Yeah.
just like, it's so good, that I don't know where else you can go and be spoon-fed this type of information that you can implement step by step and have the success that you obviously have, because you have so many of these testimonials, right? Like, you have gobs and gobs and gobs of testimonials. I am just one in a bucket of testimonials that you have from other business owners like me that just love what this has been able to do for them.
And
additional training for those actual VAs.
That person, April, has quite the success story in that she was matched with the very first time that we ran this program. I threw in that crazy bonus of we will try to hire and train we will vet your VA to put into your trial week. And so we found Diane, and April hired Diane, but April hired other VAs and now has like 4 VAs, and Diane has been with her now like 3 years, something like that. And is really the business is thriving. Their relationship is thriving. Whenever I look at April's social media, I'm blown away because her VA is doing all of it, and she's doing such a great job. Christine says, I'm so tired of going it alone. So looking forward to hiring someone to help the two of us grow for a long time to come. I am so ready. Well, Christine, we are ready for you, and we want you to have help too. Yeah. And did we get replay is available until Monday? Can you please talk and explain, how do you share passwords? Who controls that? How do you keep control of your intellectual property? Okay, first we'll start with the passwords. So we use a program called LastPass. And to be honest with you, I don't love it, but it's the one program that allows you to have like a group folder. I don't think 1Password allows you to do that. And so the reason I don't love LastPass is they did have a breach recently, and they were really like not super loud about it. I don't even know if we got an email telling us about the breach. I read about it in the news, so all these companies get breached, but we changed our password and did what we needed to do. But that allows you to share programs with your VA without them ever seeing the password. And if for any reason you need to revoke access to all the things, you literally just remove them from your 1Password. Your LastPass. Regarding intellectual property, we do have an agreement that we give you to sign with your VA. But to be honest with you, like there's no real way you can protect against that. But I will tell you, we've never had anybody come through this program to say that like someone, and we've had, I don't know, about 500 people go through this program now. And we haven't had anyone come back and say that they got done over like that, or that somebody stole something. It's not to say it can't happen, but it could happen with anybody who works in your business, right? So whether they're virtual or in the cubicle next to you, or in your actual physical office. So and then I could not take notes fast enough, but do you have a list of all that you guys use? Oh, I think we ran through that. And now in the program, I will tell you, in the program, you will sign up for the place where you're going to post your job posting. I think that's about like $60 or $69. But you're not going to, that's a subscription, but you're only going to need it for the first month. So you'll cancel it. You're just going to sign up for it for 1 month. And then there's LastPass, which you need a password protection. You need a password saver anyway. And then we use a lot of Google tools like Google, Google Docs and Google Sheets and that sort of thing. And for our Microsoft users, we always just say, look, use the free Google tools just for the the first part of the process, and then that's it. Because just so you can really copy and paste and duplicate all the tools that we give you, and then you can go back to using your Microsoft stuff after the fact. So Google has tons of free, all that has a free version. And even like the time tracking software that your VA keeps up with their time on is free. So I think that's it in terms of what we use in the program. Any other questions before we conclude? I think I want to throw a couple more of these up because they're good.
Yeah, and we could draw the
Oh,
Amazon.
yeah, yes. Yep. Let me throw up one more of these. I really don't know what half of these say.
It was just so accessible. You guys broke the steps down to, just so simple to follow if you just followed it, step by step. I love that it was really kind of a 2-for-1 deal, because you get a VA, but you also get all these business systems like Trello and Hubstaff and, all these things just become part of your business. And so it's like you're getting an assistant and a whole set of business systems.
Well, I'm glad we watched that because, yeah, we use Trello too. We also have templates for Asana, also free versions for that. And then she mentioned Hubstaff. We do not use that anymore. I don't like that. I don't like that software anymore. So, okay. And that's what I mean about how we update the program all the time, because stuff like this changes all the time. I'm going to answer this question. No, Nika's English was not this good when she started. But it wasn't bad either. She's become more Americanized from listening to all of us, but it was never bad. And I want to speak to, two things. One is when you hire someone in the Philippines, by the time you get to the interview, you're just going to have someone who is completely fluent in English, period. Yes, it's a second language, but it kind of is a first language because they learn it from kindergarten all the way through. The other thing is that you should expect that when you get to your, not that it's necessarily important, but it will blow your mind how many of your candidates not only have bachelor's degrees, but they have advanced degrees. It's really quite unbelievable. Education is very, very important in the Philippines. I visited? I used to live there. I lived there for 3 years, and I love it so much. My plan is to get back there. My daughter is from Korea, so really, we're thinking like we'll just have an Asia trip where we can go. This is news to you, right, Nika? But where we can go visit Korea and then also go to the Philippines. Could you please, yes, this is recorded to the person who said they missed it. Could you please explain how time tracking works for your info? The Zoom session is better as Facebook keeps cutting out. You don't have to watch this on Facebook. You can watch this on YouTube. We're also live on YouTube right now. But I'm bummed to hear that it's cutting out. Just go to Jen Lehner. It's also on LinkedIn. If you find my profile on LinkedIn, and we're also on Twitter. So we're everywhere. We're everywhere. So see, I would love to know if we're still cutting out on those places. We'll talk about bonuses and we will talk about time tracking. Okay. So it's very, very simple. So we share a few tools, but there's all sorts of time tracking tools out there. And your VA is very familiar with these because your VA, if your VA has ever worked as a VA, has had to do this. And so you can ask them to create tasks, right? Like bookkeeping, email, proposals, invoicing, like whatever the different tasks are. And then you ask them to make sure and clock, and we show you how to do this in a systematic way, right? How to remind them and make sure when they check out each day that they don't forget to stop their timer, that when they start the day that they don't forget to start their timer. And at the end of the week, the software just generates a really nice, simple report for you. And that you ask them, that's part of your onboarding. They learn to do this, that they're going to give you the time tracking sheet, and then you'll pay them, and you can use whatever payment processor you want to use. Because this is between you and them. You're not going through an agency. You're not going you're not going through us. This is you, the two of you, right? So we use, at my team, we use PayPal, but there's Wise, there's Payoneer. There's so many of them out there. So you guys will just decide, and then it's just, you just do it manually. I mean, there is software that allows you to pay people and make it all automated. But I like doing that. Next time, please provide the link to YouTube. You know, the only link we provide is the one inside the group, because we from a strategy perspective, like, we're trying to sell a product and we want everybody to be here together in the group, because the group is where we're really sharing all the other things too. So I appreciate that. But we're over on YouTube in case someone on my YouTube channel stumbles over it, you know what I mean? But we need to have everybody in the party. We are in the party room. Okay. And then Lily says Facebook is working fine for her. So thanks for that, Lily, because I was a little worried. What is the least number of hours that is sustainable? Worth it to a VA to work? This is a great question. So I always say, and really remember, we're starting at about $5 an hour. Okay. So 20 hours a week should be doable for everyone if you truly have a business. Okay. If you aren't really in business yet, if this is a side hustle, if you're just whatever, I get it. Right. So maybe that's not going to be possible. But if you're in business, like, to me, it is as important at running your business as your Wi-Fi connection, as definitely more important than those expensive business cards you bought. You know, it's as important as having a laptop, a computer, and, you know, it's that important, really and truly, if you're going to gain any real traction in your business. So minimally, I say 20 hours, really, that's worth it to a VA, especially if you can guarantee them the 20 hours. You don't want to hire someone and say, I'm going to guarantee you 20 hours, and you really just show up and do 5 hours one week, 6 hours the next, because how can they budget, right? They got to feed their families, they got to pay their rent and all of that. So the more we can guarantee and consistently, then that is when the magic starts to happen, because they can relax, catch their breath, and be like, okay, I don't have to chase down a bunch of clients, you know, all over the place, because I want to focus on this one client. And that's why Nika could put all of her energy into helping me and my company and feel like she was truly a part of that company. Some people have done the program, and they're like, I think Catherine Avery, I don't know if she's with us now, but she hired her VA at 10 hours a week, and that's really all she wanted. And that's been working beautifully for the last year, I think. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I just think as a template, you know, best practices, whatever, I think for me, I would say 20 hours. I used to live in Canada. What is the Rogers was my network provider. What is the average office worker weekly pay in the Philippines? Let's bring up that slide.
Okay.
Do we have it in? Should I like share my screen, or is it in Brand?
Is it with the piggy bank, Jen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's here.
It's in
This
Brand.
one?
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, and then let's take off the banner. Thank you. Okay, so what this isn't really answering your question as like what the average person makes. And Nika, if you have an answer for that, that would be great. But what this does show you is like how far your dollar goes over there and how you're able to leverage the exchange rate. So this is $5.50 an hour, okay, and which comes to about 44,000 pesos a month. And out of that, you can expect that they're paying 9,000. I'm not going to give the amounts. Their house rent, the electricity, the water bill, food, a 25 kilogram sack of rice, toiletries and other grocery items, internet subscription, statutory remittance, which is like health benefits and retirement, school fees, and that's a private high school that fee is based on, and income tax with a tiny bit left over, like 3,300 pesos left over. So that's why this works. That's why you could say that that's a living wage. But even still, there's no reason to stay at this low rate. If as you start to make money, we want you to start helping your VA to grow their salary as well. So, Nika, do you know what?
An average office employee, I would say, is earning around 125 to 150 per week, and they're working for, yes, US dollars. 100, let's say 150 US dollars, working 40 hours a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is exactly, she said this person said there's always a moral concern for underpaying workers, 1,000%. And I battle this all the time. And I hate it because let's say I'm at a soccer game and someone's like, what do you do? And like, oh, I sell online courses. What about? Well, it's a longer conversation because there are so many people that, I see all these videos on YouTube, like, $2 an hour VA for your real estate business. And it's like, you know what? You can go, when we take VAs through this process, the applicants, we ask them how much they want to make per hour, and people will say $2, $3 US per hour. But we absolutely 1,000% discourage that, because that is not a living wage. That is not a living wage. And it is exploitation, right? To do that. It absolutely is. And we talk about starting your VA off in the trial week at $4.50 an hour for that week. It's a paid trial week. Right after that, the minute that you make them an offer, we want you to start at $5 US an hour. But then by the 90-day review, we want you to go up from there. And then we want you to give them bonuses. We want you eventually, might take a year, but we want you to guarantee them a salary, meaning you promise that you're going to give them, $40, 40 hours a week, even if they only work 30, because you don't care. You want the work to get done. You're not policing them every hour that they spend on whatever task. As long as the work's getting done, you're good with it. But this is how much they're going to make every week. And they're going to get some paid time off. And we show you how to calculate that, like how, based on how many hours, how long they've been working with you, all of that, how you decide how much paid time off to get. But that is why this is different. We don't want you to try to find the cheapest person out there to do the work. We want you, we're changing lives here, and that's no joke. And, and that's, I'm not saying that's why you go into this, but I'm saying it's been a beautiful byproduct of this process, is that the CEOs go through it and they grow their businesses, and their VAs grow, and their VAs can purchase houses, and their VAs can take vacations. And it really ends up being a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you saying that. And I think Nika's already answered that question about the salary. Okay, these are really good questions, and I'm so glad that you asked them, because I wanted to talk about that and totally spaced on it. Okay, you guys, so we got to do the winner. Let's do the winner. Yes. If any other questions pop up, we'll answer them, and then we will wrap it up.
Okay, so I've got the names now. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us. Congrats, Christine.
Hey, Christine and Lynn. Yeah. So you each are going to get a $25 Amazon gift card, a great way to go into the weekend. So just email support@jenlehner.com, and we will get that over to you within minutes, because that is how we operate. And so that's it. If you have any other questions, make sure and email us. Make sure you can message us. I've sent you a lot of emails. I'm going to keep sending you emails. And if you don't want the emails anymore, if you don't want to hear any more about the program, there is a way for you to opt out of just that series and stay on the email list. But we really want you to get that bonus, because I'm telling you, that is not, I offered that when we first started, and I haven't offered it since, where we're going to vet your VA for you. Okay. Catherine has, hi, Catherine. Catherine is one of
Hi,
our big
Catherine.
success stories. She now has something like 11 or 12 assistants and people working with her in her business that skyrocketed after she had her first VA, who she hired through Front Row CEO, Ayla, right? Or Ayla. And
Ayla.
and Ayla then helped her hire all the other people using the Front Row CEO system. And she oversees, oversees the whole team. And it's remarkable. And also has built like a real true beautiful like relationship, that is beyond just like boss and VA. It's just, they really have a beautiful thing going. And thank you very much. Thank you. Is this the last session, or is there another? This is the last formal session, but like, don't be surprised if we pop up in your email with some other harebrained idea that we come up with, where we're like, oh, we need to talk about this, or we need to talk about that. We love to do this, and we love to teach. So we may have something, but we don't have anything formal scheduled. But the place to be is in the Facebook group, because that's where we're doing. That's where we put all of our first announcements. That's where we drop all the bonuses first and all of that. But don't let this get away from you, because there's two things. The price of this program is going up. I'm not going to launch it at this rate again. And this bonus is going away, right? So you want to get in while you have this bonus. And that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. We're around through the weekend if you have questions.
Yeah.
And got to put that up there. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Catherine. And everybody have a great weekend. Any parting words for our folks, Nika?
Okay. I just want to mention also, like what Jen always say, whether you take our program, I hope you do get help. You can find your VA. There are tutorials out there how to hire and train the VA. So I hope you'll do that, because I think once you get a VA in your business, it's really gonna be different. Like you're gonna have freedom. You get your time back, money, and your sanity and all that. So you get to spend time with your family. So I hope you do get help, whether you join our course or not.
Thank you, Nika. Very well said. And thanks for sharing with us today your journey. We really, really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Okay.
Jen. Thanks for everything.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.